I think one of the important things to do here when you're teaching box breathing is to persuade the patient that they need to do it for 6 weeks. That 6 weeks is the number I come up with. You say 4.
4 to 6.
And I usually explain that you're going to get a reduction in your pain initially when you try it, just because your muscles are going to be a bit sort of softer, but you need to persist. So I'm going to have a volunteer. Actually, I'm going to voluntold Gary here. He's going to come and sit up on the stage here. He didn't know this was coming, so he's going to be really tense. It's going to be great.
He's got the same reaction that most lauders would have. Did you notice that? Come on.
So you can do this. I just want to show how you can do this in real time. So Gary, what I want you to do is to take a really big, deep breath and out. So I'm going to show you what you just did there, Gary, and I'm going to overemphasize it. So what you did was this: you went, and your shoulders ended up around your ears when you took that deep breath. Every time you do that, that cranks up those nerves that we talked about. We were talking about how those nerves are all hyped up with chronic pain, and we want to teach them how to give you some messages that aren't hyped up. Well, this is how we're going to do it. And what we're going to do is teach you a different way to breathe. So I want you to put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly. And now I'm going to have to put my microphone down. No, I'll do it like this. So imagine my other hand on my chest. That's fine, I can do it like this, yeah. Now, so I want you to watch me breathe, first of all. This is what you did. And this is what I'm going to do. So if I did it right, my shoulders didn't move. Now, singers get this all the time, because singers know that you breathe from your belly. So I want you to try again, and I want you to just breathe out with your belly there. So you're not quite managing it yet. What I want you to do now is to think of your belly like a big balloon. And when you take a big, deep breath in, you're going to blow that balloon up and out again. And with your hand on your chest, I don't want to move. So like this, watch. And out, like that. Try again. Push that belly out. He doesn't have a belly, you see, that's why. He's so thin there. So big breath, push that. That's better. You're doing better this time. So now you need to go home and practice that in front of a mirror, because you're still moving this hand on your chest. And I think it's important to emphasize to the patients that most of them will not get it immediately in the office. They need to go home and practice it. Now, when you have practiced that, and you've mastered it, and I use this hand out at the same time, and not until you've mastered it, you can walk on to box breathing. Now, box breathing is called box breathing because it's just following a 4-part strategy like that. And it's 4 parts. It's breathing into the count of 4, holding to the count of 4, breathing out to the count of 4, and holding to the count of 4. And it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4. And that's what I want you to do. And it'll take you 6 weeks before this is really going to work, so you need to practice it twice a day. You brush your teeth twice a day. I want you to do this twice a day. Yeah, I'm curious. It's easy, you see. Thank you.
We're hoping that this is something that you think that you could actually do within your clinical practice. One of the things that we don't know about the breathing is we don't know the right dose, right? We don't know what's the right amount for people to do. We've got this idea from neuroplasticity research that it usually takes 4 to 6 weeks to get somebody to be able to get any sort of significant competence or to change the nervous system. Some of the neuroplasticity research says that you probably need to practice something between 60 to 90 minutes a day to change things really well. But what I would suggest is that most people can't do it that much, so we need to start, as David said, with make it practical, make it something that people can get within their day. And we have one script to go into that just a little bit. Anything else you want to add on that?
It's got to be less than 90 minutes because my patients don't start with more than about 5 minutes twice a day.
Yeah.
And that seems to make a difference just like that. And when they actually notice a difference, then they buy in and they'll invest more time. But if you tie it into something that people are doing every day, then that's a good handle.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing for a lot of people. It's when they get a glimmer that they actually could change this a little bit. That's what draws them in. Because the message people usually have, or the myth that they have, is I cannot change my pain. And then all of a sudden they do something as simple as this. Go, hang on, I actually did change it. And if you can see you can change it a bit, that sort of opens up your idea. Remember, learned helplessness is a big part of chronic pain. And so now the person says, hey, maybe I'm not so helpless as this. Maybe I actually have some efficacy to be able to shift this down the road.